Liesl looked at her phone for what felt like the 100th time and frowned at the time on the display. It was odd her mother had not responded to her text messages at all for an entire day. It was weirder still her husband of 5 years had not responded either. They were both attentive and loving towards her, and so she found their silence odd. Moreover, her husband Merlin was late. If he was late, he always called or messaged her. This felt off somehow, and her stomach flipped nervously yet again. She got up from the sofa where she'd been trying to kill her nerves with Netflix on her laptop when she heard the door open. She walked to the edge of the study and looked to see Merlin walking in with a somber expression. "Hey babe, you're late and didn't answer my messages. Is everything okay?" "No," he shook his head. "Can you come to my office with me?" He motioned for her to follow to what she often dubbed his inner sanctum. Considering the fact he'd made love to her for hours the night before, his cold demeanor right now as he led the way, not even pausing to kiss her hello, had her thoroughly confused. He motioned for her to take a seat in the chair opposite his desk, and she made wide eyes. "Merle, you're scaring me. What's going on?" "We're getting divorced," he said bluntly. She laughed. There was no way he was serious considering in the 8 years they had been together, 5 of them married, he'd never once raised his voice, and they'd never had a real argument. Their biggest fight ever had been the one time he forgot to put the toilet seat down, and she'd fallen into the toilet in the middle of the night. Even then, he'd apologized so profusely after she'd stopped freaking out. They'd ended up having incredible make-up sex in the shower where she'd gone to clean up. She stopped laughing and stared at him. "I'm sorry, what?" "Divorced. I just need your signature on these papers." He slid a stack across the desk. "You are welcome to talk to a lawyer, of course. The prenup we signed will stand. You get the house, and you can keep your car, and you'll get a monthly allowance for 5 years. "I don't understand." He held another document in his hand. "This is a paternity test." "What does this have to do with me?" She was frowning as she looked at the way his fingers trembled, just slightly. "What is going on?" She herself was starting to shake now. "I had an indiscretion at your sister's wedding in Turks, and Keiko's 6 weeks ago." "You cheated on me," she was going to vomit. "At my sister's wedding." "Yes." She got up from her seat and wrapped her arms around her middle. "This isn't happening." "I fucked up and had too much to drink and I didn't wear a condom. She is pregnant. I had a rush done on the paternity. It has come back as mine." "You told me you didn't want children for another 3 years." She turned to face him angrily. "I did say this, and I stand by what I said. It's unfortunately a done deal. I made an error in judgment, but I can't let another man raise my child. We are getting divorced, and I will be marrying the mother of my child." "How can you sit here so coldly and tell me this? Do you think this is easy for me?" "It sure as fuck doesn't look like it's all too hard considering how frigid you're being. I'm not one of your multi-million-dollar business transactions, Merle, where you simply remove the emotion from the equation. I'm your wife. Your wife." She had always thought the way he could remove emotions during a negotiation was sexy and powerful, but right now, being on the receiving end of his harsh, calculating mannerisms felt like agonizing cruelty. "Not after you sign this." "If I sign those, you get the fuck out right now." He blinked at her words. "Now." "Did you not say I get the house?" "Surely you will want to go see Janka, or Elsie, while things get sorted." "They can come here. I'm not the one who screwed around. You can leave." "My office is here and must clear it out." "You can come on the weekend with a moving truck and take the contents of this office as well as your clothes and toiletries, but the rest, all the furniture, dishes, every fucking knickknack, knife, fork, spoon, stays in this house with me." "I understand you're angry, Liesl. I am trying to be respectful. I ask the same of you." "Respectful? You fucked someone else," she screamed at the top of her lungs, gasping for air as her mind swirled. "At my sister's wedding and got them pregnant. 8 years. 8 years you never once touched me without a condom and you forgot." She gripped her stomach as she struggled not to release the contents all over his prized office. "Oh my God," she had a thought and glared at him. We had sex every single day we were there, sometimes twice. Did you fuck me after fucking her? Liesl, I'm sorry, he said quietly, not breaking his stony faade. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, and the best way I can fix this is by being honest with you, by telling you the truth. There is no point in prolonging things. I can't have my child born a bastard. They must have my name. My grandfather's will was specific. Any child born out of wedlock will get nothing. It means the $1 million in trust for my child will not be allowed to be touched. I cannot punish a child for their father's transgressions. And this woman is keen to marry you too. She's all gung-ho, is she? She is not thrilled with the prospect, but once I explained the money and the benefits, she was more open. She is letting her husband know this evening, probably right now as well, and we will be married within 6 weeks barring complications. How could you do this? She tried so hard not to cry and angrily brushed the tears streaking her cheeks away. I thought you loved me, and I thought everything we had was good. Why would you go to someone else? God, she groaned and rubbed her forehead. In all this time, I never once considered sleeping with anyone else. Not once. I gave up everything for you. Stopped working at the law firm because the hours cut into the time you wanted to be with me. Scheduled my time at Janka's art gallery around your schedule. I've been at your beck and call like a bitch to be mounted, and you've been having sex with someone else. He was silent as she vented her frustrations. She waved her hand at him, trying to not let him get the upper hand. If he could be this cold sitting there, so could she. Just go pack whatever you'll need for the next 5 days and get out. It would be easier if you went to one of the girls. It's too bad I'm not here to make things easier for you, isn't it? She turned to face him, and when he remained seated, she shrieked so loudly her voice felt scraped, her vocal cords straining. Get the fuck out of my house. Liesl, for what it's worth, I do love you. This was an error in judgment, but unfortunately, a costly one. Save your condescending bullshit for the lawyers. I don't need it. Get out. She plunked down on the leather sofa. She was shaking with unbridled rage, shock, and if she were honest, heartbreak. I need your signature. I will call Elsie to come make sure you're not fucking me over, and then I'll sign them. She loved this man with all her heart and soul, and he had just coldly, callously ripped her world to shreds without a second thought. He rose from his desk and slowly walked to the door of his office, and he was almost there when a thought occurred to her. I knew every single person at my sister's wedding. Who betrayed me with you? Which one of my sister's whorish girlfriends fucked my husband? He paused, his hand on the door frame as he clutched it, for the first time white-knuckled as he admitted quietly, Sandy. The room spun dangerously, and she gasped for breath. My sister. His single nod was all it took for the world she had thought broken to shatter. She slumped off the sofa to the floor, gasping for breath as she let out an ear-piercing scream of pain and sobbed her heart out while he walked away. Elsie finished reviewing the final document and then nodded. It matches the prenup terms in the event of adultery. He isn't screwing you over, at least not in here. Motherfucker. She whispered the last word under her breath as she pushed the papers across the kitchen table towards Liesl. I'm so sorry, love. Liesl held Janka's hand under the table and sniffed. I never saw it coming. He fucked her at her wedding reception. Did he say it was the first time? Janka asked as Elsie pointed out all the places Liesl needed to sign. I didn't ask. While I waited for you to get here, I sat here thinking of every interaction, and I'm confident it's been going on for at least a year. They both disappeared at my cousin's wedding. Remember, he was late coming to Mom's birthday dinner, and she had disappeared for 20 minutes, but then someone said they'd seen his car in the yard. He was probably there screwing her somewhere in Mom's house. Jesus Christ, Janka whispered. I thought you two had the perfect marriage. He couldn't keep his hands off you. Sandy and Roddy were on and off again so many times. Each time they broke up, she was out sleeping around. She stared at the ceiling, aware the tears were still streaming down her face. Thank heavens he always used a condom with me, or I'd probably have caught one of her diseases. You should get tested anyway, Elsie grunted. Who does this to her own sister? Sandy does, Liesl grimaced. She's been after my things since the day she was born, and Mom always made me share. She exhaled, though it takes two to tango and he is as culpable as she is. True, Elsie squeezed her hand. Do you think he's still waiting in the car for the papers? Yes, she nodded and started to get up. I'll bring them to him. No, Elsie stood. As your legal representative, it is my pleasure to take them to him. This copy is yours. This copy is his. I'll bring him his copy. I will personally file these with the court in the morning. The sooner the better. We'll get this over with. This really hurts, she whimpered as Elsie kissed her forehead before walking out of the kitchen towards the hall. It sucks. It really does, Janka agreed. You don't have to come into work tomorrow if you don't want to. Actually, she blinked back the tears, I need to do something more than sit around this oversized house. Can I get a couple extra shifts? Definitely. She hugged her tightly and pressed Liesl's head to her shoulder. I feel so pathetic. I couldn't keep my dog on a leash and he strayed with my sister. Your dog needs to be put down, Janka muttered as they sat quietly. Your husband is an asshole, Elsie walked back in. He was annoyed I brought the papers out and not you. He said you're going to be an aunt, so you need to get over it and be able to be civil. Screw him, Janka hissed. We really do need to put the dog down. I can call one of my cousins in Germany, she half-joked. Liesl made a face, which made both of her girlfriends raise eyebrows. Is it wrong it's been 2 hours since this all started, and all I want to do is plot revenge? Janka pulled her head backwards and stared at her incredulously. You, revenge. Girl, you are the queen of spouting forgiveness. Are you really going to plot revenge? While he was upstairs packing his shit, and I was waiting for you, I noticed my laptop was still open from where I was watching movies. He said twice he needed to pack his office, and I got thinking.